Better. Welcome to the Land Cave. We're living as nerds. I'm Patrick, joined by Owen. That's
Hello.
take two because we had the things going on. But I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're having a great week. And if you're not, I hope that this finds you well and you can talk about gaming with us. You can enjoy the things that we do love in life. We can cherish those things and just like hang out. As peoples hanging out talking. The internet's a crazy terrible place sometimes. We try to give some love into that crazy terrible place because it's an awesome place as well. I love the internet.
Do you?
Oh yeah, for the most part.
Okay. I mean, I never really considered my feelings
Yeah.
on the internet, really. I love aspects of it.
Yeah.
I definitely like the information superhighway, and so on. I like to be able to instantly know things. That I think that is it's a weird thing whenever your internet's off and your data's not working, when you can't just look up, I wonder what's the most popular form of sandwich. And when you can't immediately answer that question,
That happened to me. I had no phone for almost 48 hours. So if I was not at a PC or at a laptop, that was me. And I realized how dependent we are. I mean, I knew it anyways. But let me put it this way: I realized how addicted I was to electronics, and again, knew I was addicted. But man, it hit me hard this weekend. And the time change happened too. Also beat Demon Souls, so that's
nice.
second win. Oh, sorry, first time on PS5, second time in total. So happy about that. I did get some help because I was having trouble, and sometimes it's easier just to call in some help. So and you got our mascot in there too. So called in some help. Whitney got to see this with me on a lunch break, so that was kind of cool to enjoy that together because she's not a fan of the series.
So you don't know this person, right? When you call for help,
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, have no idea. You can do a password system where you can be like, all right, both of us have a pass. But
So you can make it a private game.
Yep. So in this case, you basically just leave a message on the ground, and as long as they're within a certain level of you, then they can see your message or your whatever. You basically leave this blue message on the ground. And if they see it, they can choose to come in. And this guy, apparently that's what it seemed like. That's what he was doing, just rinse and repeat. Because I got him twice, so I think he was just rinse repeating doing this because if he does this, he gets souls, he gets perks.
Yeah, what a nice guy.
So yeah, nice guy to do that. But also Whitney got to see us gesturing and stuff because you can't there's no voice chat native to the game. So and the little ghosts there are other people playing. So I was really happy about beating it. This is not the as I mentioned to you, this is not the spoilery one. This is just this is a boss without any spoilers, but just throwing that out there. I was happy about that. And then now I'm going through my new game plus to get my second playthrough. I have to go through the game 3 times to platinum it, or 2.5 times. 2.5 times. So.
And you're planning on doing this?
I am.
Okay. By the way, the most popular sandwich in America, according to a 2019 survey, is the grilled cheese.
Okay. I can believe that. I was
gonna say peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter jelly is good too. I was curious. Obviously everyone has their own bias, right? So
Sure.
I was thinking sliced turkey. Just
Actually, that's number
turkey and Swiss.
3.
Was that turkey and Swiss or just turkey?
They just said
Okay.
turkey.
Okay, because turkey and Swiss, there's something classic about that combination.
And then somehow grilled chicken is number 2. I never would have got there. I wouldn't have won that one on Family Feud. It would have been survey said what?
What?
Okay, I would have gone to beef, ham,
roast beef,
peanut butter jelly,
Oh, yeah. Well, okay, don't get me wrong. I love grilled chicken. I make grilled chicken. I eat a lot of grilled chicken. But when I put it on, that's not an easy throw this thing on a sandwich kind of thing. At the same time, I could also say is a Philly on there as the most popular sandwich.
Peanut butter jelly is number 9, and that's absurd to me.
That is. Well, I was thinking, is the Philly cheesesteak even is on there? Because the Philly cheesesteak, yeah.
The Philly is Not in the top 15.
Okay. I only bring it up because they're both time consuming. When I think of sandwiches,
Sure.
I think I'm going to scrounge this thing together, I'm going to make it, I'm going to eat it, and we're good. Not like a grilled chicken sandwich. I think either I prepared some grilled chicken beforehand or I'm actually grilling. Yeah, that's too much work for that.
I'm actually happy that my favorite, like, not. I mean, okay, I am gonna actually just say favorite because it is the sandwich that, like, if I order it, so I don't make it at home very often because it's just kind of annoying. But the tuna salad sandwich is in the top 15. It's number 11. I get it at Jersey Mike's in particular, where they throw the Mike's Way, you know, the vinegar and the salt and pepper and the olive oil on it. But not a lot of people seem to like tuna salad. I'm in a small.
I love tuna salad. I have to make, and when I make it at home, I'll say this: if you're gonna do it, you have to make it beforehand. You mix up and
you gotta refrigerate.
You refrigerate it, yeah. Like because I used to just do it like ad hoc, right? I just threw some stuff together and it was fine. But you refrigerate it beforehand, and I found this saves so many things. I get dill relish.
Yes, you do.
So you already know this because I didn't think about it. I literally was walking. I was grabbing some like bread and butter pickles. I like bread and butter pickles. Yeah. And I saw dill relish and I went, wait a minute, that's pickles and dill already crushed up and chopped up. I don't have to use a knife because I admitted I would take out the dill pickle slices and I'd start like slicing them. And I was like, that's extra time. But now I can just squeeze some dill relish and then squeeze some mayo, some pepper. And then and then you mix it up and you put it in the fridge for like 24 hours.
Do you put any crunchy in it when you make it at home? Do you put any like? So I don't do this every single time because I don't always buy it. But if you slice up some celery kind of thin and mix it up in there, if you want a little bit of crunch.
Celery's a good choice. Yeah, celery's a good choice. Like I got to do that. Sometimes I throw in some onion. Because I do like onion.
Red onion?
Usually it's just a white onion, but red onion sounds good too. But if I do, that'd be good too, because you get the pickling going on there. Usually, but if I'm throwing it in the fridge, the wife doesn't like onions, so maybe I'll throw in some celery.
Mine doesn't either.
Yeah.
No, unless they're pickled or like grilled. Like she doesn't like raw onion.
Yeah. See, I cook with onion a lot. Yeah, but it's like really cooked in there. So so
it just it's like garlic, right? You just kind of throw it in there as a base.
Exactly. It's exactly the what's the term for that? It's a soup term. We put the base in there before. We talk about
but this is where I get to insert the meme though. Yeah. That I see you two are a man of culture because not a lot of people get the tuna salad, man. And you know what I didn't get until this last week?
What did you not get?
Hitman. Yeah. Oh, dude, man. We've talked about Hitman how many times on this show? I've always said it's not a game for me. I'm not a stealth kind of guy. Me and the wife.
That's what I was. Yeah.
The wife saw me playing Hitman and she's like, "What is this?" I'm like, "It's Hitman." And by the way, Facebook, I am talking about a video game here. I just want to let you know.
We're not hiring.
Restricted.
Yes.
I got restricted for talking about murder on Hitman. I am talking about a video game. The game is called Hitman, just so you guys know. So that's just me talking to Facebook there for a second. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Playing Hitman." She's like, "This is goofy." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." It's just it's kind of, it's not just a stealthy, it's like a puzzle stealth game.
It is like you have to figure out, and there's different ways to accomplish things. So there are people who like you played the game and you beat it in, I don't know, 12 hours or something like that. I'm throwing out a number.
We beat it over the course of the weekend.
Yeah. So there are other people who are like playing Hitman 3. And the other people who are complaining about it, and other people are like, well, I'm on my like sixth or 10th time playing this one mission, beating it every time, but trying different things. How can you accomplish it in different ways? The first couple of games didn't have the humor. They didn't have the quirky, the goofiness. And when they did this reboot, it brought that in because I think they realized you need something to cut that tension of just being dark, like
of being a murderer.
Yeah, being a murderer. Because in the first couple games, it's just like, yep, you're a murderer. Okay, just do the murder.
There was one that I got to dress up as the model in the first game. So there's no spoiler because I've only played the first one. I did start the third one. I skipped 2 because it was the same price as 3 on PSN. Super cheap everywhere else, but on PSN it was $60. So I skipped 2. I'll get it later when it's on sale. Which, by the way, PS Deals has an app. If you haven't gotten that app, I'm now tracking things and I can see the last lowest price points of video games. Anyways, so there's one where you get to dress up as a model to take down this syndicate that is run by a former model and her husband, and she's the brains of the operation. But so I got to go first. I had to take out the model. I accidentally stabbed him. That was a mistake because I'm one of those guys. I don't like to take anybody else out. I subdue everybody, but I didn't realize I was holding a pair of scissors because I was dressed up as his hairstylist, and then I stabbed him in the neck. And then all of a sudden I'm now this model. I get to go up into the office talking to me about what I'm gonna do, and then I just
that is awesome. That is so good. So Whitney and I are watching America's Next Top Model. So now I'm like, I need to I'm gonna bring it into her, especially since your wife liked it too. And be like, hey, you got to play this game, or I got to play this. Either way, I've liked the series. It's since
the first level too, so it's the Paris
perfect.
level. So if you own Hitman 1, which by the way they stopped doing it, but it's episodic. So if you don't even want to download the rest of the game to take up space, you can just download the Paris level and see if she likes it.
That's cool. Yeah, see, I played the originals. I don't remember if I played this. I know I got it, but I don't know when I got it.
Apparently it was free on PS. Somebody told me it was free on PS because I was like, I don't remember paying for this game.
Yeah. At some point,
it just happened to be on my hard drive, and I was in. We finished the game. We rolled credits on it. I could keep replaying levels, and I might do that at some point. I am leaving them on the external hard drive because I have a 4 terabyte hard drive. But immediately, my wife, we put the kid to bed, and she's like, "Is there more Hitman to play? You said there was 3 Hitmans, right? So what am I gonna?" I just cha-chinged that.
That's exactly.
I've been trying not to buy too many games, but I immediately bought Hitman 3.
Yeah. Well, okay, you're trying not to buy too many games because we have the backlog, but you didn't break the rules, and I did. I'm sorry, I'm gonna segue real quick. I did break the rules. I mean, we could keep talking about Hitman.
Oh yeah.
I broke the rules with our backlog because I said I was playing Hyrule Warriors for the month of March, and I had planned on playing Hyrule Warriors because I swear I thought that I had purchased it, and what I remembered after picking up the Switch and looking was no, I downloaded the demo. I did not purchase it, so I had to. I am breaking the rules because I did say this is the game, and I didn't want to change my list. Very happy that I purchased it, but I did break the rules in that.
It's strike 1.
Strike 1. Well,
you get 2 more. No, I'm just
okay,
kidding.
all the others. I checked all the others, and we're good. We did get
the other thing that I did want to mention something just before we move on to the gaming news, because I mentioned on the page that I bought this thing. So this is the backbone for iPhones only, though. So you get to be jealous a little bit. This thing is sick.
It looks cool.
It
looks cool.
Not battery powered at all. It plugs directly into the Lightning port of the iPhone. It has, and the best part though, the thing that makes this completely sick, they made their own app that makes it look like Steam Big Picture. So you open up the button. As soon as you plug it into the phone, you can press the backbone button. Opens up their app just like you would whenever you plug Steam in. It recognizes every game or app on your phone that uses controllers. And so immediately, as soon as I opened up the backbone app, it was like, do you want to do PS Play? Do you want to do Xbox One sharing? Do you want to play Genshin Impact and a couple other controller games that I had on my phone? Sick.
That's so cool.
Sick. So if you're an iPhone user and you've been thinking about doing either something for Apple Arcade, or what I bought it for really is, even though I have the consoles, I've been wanting to kind of hang out with her a little bit more, like when she's watching TV. You know, we don't necessarily talk the whole time, or she watches stuff that I don't necessarily want to do, but I was playing a little bit of Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2. Just a simple platformer. Ran like a dream. Just did the controller.
Now you're able to play those games off your console, because I did also, by the way, with the new phone, not that I could do it with my old phone, but I remote played off my PS5, and it worked really well. I was like, that's cool, but I'm sitting here with a PS4 controller, Bluetooth to my phone, as
Right.
opposed to if I was just hanging out playing my Switch, which is basically you're able to do what you do with Switch with the other consoles. So that's really cool.
So since you're not a iPhone user, what I'm going to recommend you look into is the Razer Kishi.
Razer Kishi. So I will look into
So I'll
that.
send you a link for it at
Yeah,
some
send me
point.
the
But it's
link.
a Bluetooth controller
Okay.
as opposed to one that plugs in, I think.
Yeah.
And so it may be plugged in, but it's about the same price as the
Yeah.
backbone. But I'll send it to you.
Yeah,
It's
send it to
also
me.
very sick. I just happen to get this one because they made it specifically for
Yeah.
iPhones and had that app.
Yeah, anyone who has a significant other knows exactly what we're talking about, or has like, whatever close relationship where you're like, you want to spend time with the person, you're sitting next to the person, they're doing their thing, you're doing your thing, and it's still nice, as opposed to, going off into another room and being a recluse. It's nice to be able to do that, and that's a great way to do it. And
Yeah.
some stuff that we don't really want to, we can passively pay attention to. But something I did not passively pay attention to, we had some big news last week. Last Thursday, about Bethesda and Xbox. The day after our episode, we had Bethesda and Xbox officially coming together. I think technically Wednesday and whatever paperwork officially coming through. But Xbox, Bethesda coming together. They did have a round table where they talked about the details of that, which obviously they're still ironing out some things. But the big takeaway here is that Xbox, Bethesda games going forward, other than the ones that are contractually obligated, Bethesda games going forward are Xbox exclusive.
Bum, bum, bum.
I honestly didn't think they were going to do it. I didn't. I thought no, there's so much money on PlayStation. There's no way. Like, you were talking timed exclusive, right? Let's do a timed exclusive for like Elder Scrolls. Elder Scrolls 6 may not. I don't remember. I don't think they named that. They talked about what was it?
Phil was a little bit of vague.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw exactly what he said, where he's like, "We're gonna fulfill our contractual obligations as we always do," and he mentioned though the future as well. And so I've been listening to different people and reading different people trying to figure out what that meant. Like, what does that mean in terms of the future? So to me, I kind of got out of it because right now, for the people who don't know, that the ones that we know about, at least, that are contractually obligated are Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop. Now, there could be other ones. Who knows what deals Sony was working, because that's the angle that Sony's going on right now, is they're making deals for exclusives. That's the same reason they have Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's the same reason they have Final Fantasy 16 coming up, hopefully, this year or next year. They got Deathloop, which is going to be big for them. Ghostwire Tokyo, we haven't really heard from. We'll see if it's big for them or not. So are they saying if there was a Deathloop sequel that comes to PlayStation? Are they saying that's the part where it's slightly vague? But to me, I don't think PlayStation players get to play Elder Scrolls 6. I don't think that. I wonder if they get to play what's the other one that's coming out?
Starfield. Yeah. What about the next Doom? I mean,
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think this was, and I don't. Of course, this decision's not made lightly. They were looking at it and saying, how obviously part of it is a business decision, but they're weighing out: is it more important to have an exclusive game that is being played either on PC or Xbox? Because exclusivity for Microsoft means you can also play it on PC, or are they going to allow it to be played on Nintendo or Sony? Because the other thing people are that, again, Nintendo, Skyrim is on Nintendo. Isn't Doom on Nintendo, if I'm not mistaken?
Doom. I can't remember. I mean, the first they released the old Dooms on Switch, and then did they put? I think they were trying to put.
They were.
Doom
I can't remember.
Doom 2016 on.
I thought they did. I may be wrong. Either way, obviously Sony is the one that that Microsoft is really playing. Because
it is on Switch.
It is on Switch. Okay, that's what I thought it was. So, I mean, I'm not saying that they made a ton of money off that, and obviously the Microsoft is looking at it saying, do we want to allow it to be on Sony? Do we want it to allow it to be on PlayStation? And Xbox is playing the long game. Xbox knows they're going to pay a ton of money right now, and they're going to reap those rewards it'll take them a bit to make the money back, but they're playing the long game. They're not playing for the next 2 or 3 years. This purchase was for the next 10 years, if not more, of new games, of sequels. Whenever Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, which probably will be in like 7 years, then it's going to be an Xbox exclusive.
Dude, there's another part of me that wonders, and we've talked about this, briefly, right?
Yeah.
But like, I wonder is how much longer is Xbox hardware in terms of the like in terms of, we have the Series X right now, which is a beautiful machine, by the way. I love it. I've honestly been playing my Series X quite a bit. I play a lot of Call of Duty on there. Game Pass Ultimate is great. You don't need Ultimate to play on the Xbox Series. I just happen to have it because I got some of it cheap on CD keys. But because another thing that Phil said is that Bethesda is going to be available wherever Game Pass is. And so he's not just saying console and PC, because what have they broken into? They've broken into the mobile market. xCloud is on there. They're apparently developing a TV app.
That's what it's about.
And that's sick to me. And obviously that's in a bandwidth world, but imagine that they find a way to have you, I don't know, download snippets of games so that maybe you don't have to stream as much data. I don't know how all that works. So I'm talking out of my butt here a little bit, but like, does Xbox even care about beating the console space if they're just really trying to expand? Like, what if Game Pass is their future? Like, what if not everything else is?
I wouldn't doubt there could be a chance that that's what they're going towards. That they're going for, let's just get everyone on a subscription model. Like, because consoles are great. You think about, the Xbox Series X is a $500 console. How much of that is profit? Is it worth it to be R&D, manufacturing, shipping? If in this case you probably made zero profit, but you were getting someone onto the ecosystem. If you can get them on the ecosystem with an app on their smart TV, and so many people have smart, so it's a really question of, if they do that, they're going to be abandoning people who don't have as great a bandwidth. They're going to be abandoning people who don't have newer smart TVs that can run can run that app. So it's still I hate to say this, but like a decision from privilege, where it's like, you can't just buy a used Xbox and then play it. This would be, you have to commit to either subscription or what. I mean, and we can argue about like, okay, if the subscription's $10 versus buying a used 360, or I'm just saying that because that came to mind. Anyone who doesn't have internet, who doesn't have a good internet connection, would be out in this case. And hopefully we're close enough to 5G that becomes,
that's the answer right there.
Yeah,
I think 5G really is the answer. And just for putting numbers in here, because if anybody thinks right now that Game Pass is profitable, it's not. There's no way. They spent way too much money on their library. But the thing that they're doing in terms of like the Netflix model, right? So right now, as of January, the end of January, they had 18 million Game Pass subs. So low end price of that is $10. So let's just say $10. Let's not even count all the people that are Ultimate. Let's just say everybody's on the $10 plane. You're talking about $180 million per month that they're bringing in. Now pump that number. What's crazy is the amount of Series X owners that are Game Pass. It's a stupidly high number. I was trying to find it right now, but I can't. But whenever I heard it, the people who are buying Series X's right now, almost all of them, the attach rate to Game Pass it's not 100%, but it's a very high percentage number. So that number is going to go up, and it's only been going up month over month. So let's say they do that. Let's say they get rid of gold. Let's say they get rid of all the other stuff, and they're just sitting here making $500 million every month or something like that because they have 50 million subs.
Well, you throw that on a smart TV. That's the thing. I mean, we now have it. So I need to try it, by the way, on my phone. I'll probably get that. I'll probably look at that Razer, like you mentioned. If it's so tempting. If I can play Xbox stuff on the cloud that way, while the wife's sitting and playing
While she's playing
Assassin's Creed, because that's what she's doing right now. That's what she does. She does pretty much every week. So if I could be sitting there playing the same game or a different game or whatever it is, I could, it's so cool. Or to be able to, I don't know if that Razer thing folds up, but if I have my phone with me and want to play it on the go, so if I have it in my in my car, or my I've got like a little man bag that sometimes that has like my laptop in it and stuff, so I could have that in there. I already have my phone. Boom, I'm sitting in the DMV or wherever I am and being able to play it. COVID, obviously, yeah, we don't travel as much right now, but fingers crossed I'm going to get my my vaccine soon, and then I can travel a little bit more. So,
yeah. So the Razer one for Android, by the way, is USB-C, so I don't know how your phone's currently
it's C.
charged.
It's C.
So this works for you. So to me, then, that tells me that one also doesn't need power. So that's cool.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
I think obviously this sucks for PlayStation users. I think that exclusivity, though, whenever you're looking at that, I think that's what drives the market. There's a lot of people that are going to hate this.
Yeah.
Especially people who are still sitting on PS4 that expect maybe like Starfield to be a PS4 game. It better not. It better not be Xbox One either. You need to make that game Xbox Series X.
Yes.
Anyways.
Yeah.
But they've been around a long time. On PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, there's a lot of games spanning that period of time, but exclusives are what drive greatness, in my opinion. That's what made Sony a PS4 juggernaut. Their first party made amazing games like Uncharted, Last of Us, Days Gone, Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War. These are the games. This is why you get to, for the last generation, that's why you get to be like, what Xbox
What
One?
did Xbox do?
Nothing.
I'm waiting. And I know we've been talking for years, literally years on this show, saying Xbox is going to do it. Just wait. Just give them a minute. Just give them a minute. Just give them a minute.
X going to give it to you.
It takes a little bit longer. It's like a diesel engine. It takes a little bit longer. It's getting there. It's revved up. And maybe starting December, if Halo comes out, like, they have so many studios that are signed up now, that are purchased or have exclusive deals, whatever it is, that Microsoft, like I said, they're positioning themselves that with Game Pass. It's a new world, and I love it. I will say,
a whole new world.
Don't you dare close your eyes.
I don't want to. I just want you to show them to me. That's I'll say to kind of wrap up the Bethesda thing, because we could probably talk about this for a lot longer, but I am disappointed that they didn't show anything. They did, okay, by anything, I mean anything new. They did, and it's already there for people who are listening to this podcast now. It was there the next day. They put 20 more of the Bethesda games on there. There is some enhancements. Based on some recommendations, I've downloaded Prey. I don't know when I'm going to get to it, but they enhanced Prey, bumped that up to 60 FPS among their whole other library. We're talking like Doom 64 is now on Game Pass, Prey on Game Pass. Basically the whole library is on Game Pass at this point. But they didn't do anything new. I just wanted a little taste. Just can you maybe a little Starfield trailer?
Like, hey, we are working on something. Let's show you a little bit of what we're working on. We know you're working.
Show me the first exclusive. Show me the first one. Whatever is in the pipeline for the very first Bethesda Xbox exclusive. Just throw something up. I wanted that. Yeah. And so that was literally the only disappointment I had. I'm not disappointed with them being exclusive, although I do have to say I was wrong. I said on this very podcast that I would bet money that they wouldn't do that. They would not put Elder Scrolls 6 as an Xbox exclusive, because I didn't necessarily think it was a good idea. But what the crap do I know? Because that's what's going to happen. So I was wrong.
Yeah, well, that tells us that the decision for them, like I said, the decision was, if it gets us more subscribers, which it will,
Yep.
if it gets us more subscribers, that's worth more to us than losing out on the people who are over there who may or may not have that subscription. Because if it's a subscription, and by the time that Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, if they have that app on TV and they're like, just do that $10 subscription and you get access to it, all the Sony people who wish that they were playing it will come over, or that's the idea at least. They'll have some people come over. I'm gonna talk a little bit. This is a little bit of rumor territory. Actually, we'll talk real quick. Actually, speaking of Game Pass, EA Play coming to Game Pass on PC. It's already there for Xbox. So wanted to bring that up as well. I didn't realize
Pump that value.
Yeah, I didn't realize that it was that they didn't have that on PC because I've been playing on the Xbox.
Sure.
But yeah, 100% value. I'm curious how many people. I imagine. Never mind. I was thinking more of the sports stuff out of EA. I would be willing to bet more of the sports players are playing on console than they are playing on PC, but there's a ton of EA games that aren't sports. That's just me. I don't know how that Venn diagram looks.
Yeah, it's just value.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, because the thing is I know some. First of all, I don't know if they've changed it yet, but as of last year, Game Pass. If you did Game Pass only on PC, it was cheaper. It was only like $5 a month.
Yep.
If you were doing PC only. I don't know if they've since changed that or not. But even if they haven't, people who have Ultimate, which a lot of people do, for the mobile reasons, for the xCloud reasons or whatever, PC's just thrown in there.
Yeah.
The thing that I'm wondering if they're going to get to it is, will they ever do xCloud through a mobile browser, or not, through a browser on a PC, so that you can do it like on your Chromecast, your Chromebook rather, any crappy PlayStation, or I just am messing up every word in this sentence.
It happens.
You know what I'm trying to get at. If they do xCloud through a browser, I think that would be interesting. But the fact of the matter is, if you have Game Pass Ultimate, you have it for PC. Now you have EA games on PC.
What if? Oh man, what if they allowed you to do it through browser, but it's only through Edge? I mean, I guess I'd use Edge.
On my
You do?
Windows
Okay.
computer.
Okay. I mean, I'd still use it. I need to try to use Edge more.
I feel like that's what they would do.
I feel like that's what they would do. Everything's so linked to Chrome for me, but if I'm just using Edge for Xbox, I think that's fine too. But because you can install Edge on whatever device, so yeah, I think.
Well, because the fact of the matter is
that
Edge runs off Chromium, so it's already like Chrome anyway.
Okay.
It's just Edges instead, and then if you're willing to have Bing as a search engine, you get those bonus points that if you earn enough of them, you can turn that into some Game Pass time. It's a lot.
I was gonna say it's gonna be a while. I looked into doing that and was like, I don't know if I'm ever gonna get to anything tangible. I gotta try it out though. So much of what I'm doing is linked to my Chrome account, or my passwords are saved there, that it's just really easy at this point. But oh well.
I think that they put Stadia on Edge, and so that just tells me that xCloud's going to be through Edge, if that's going to happen.
Makes sense. I want to do a little bit of rumor territory here, because this keeps coming up, and you and I had a little. We're starting to have a discussion on it. I think we saved it for the show, but this rumor keeps coming up, and
Yeah. You know what? Let's discredit these rumors.
Whoops.
Yeah, sure, but who's been saying all that stuff?
It's not important, Jim. I just think we shouldn't listen to any of this crap.
Were you going to put this Office clip in?
So that was going to be the stinger. I thought I turned it off, and then I realized as I was playing, I'm like, I bet you know exactly what scene that is, anyways. So, the rumor bit from The Office. You would have been able to hear that if my audio was working right. But rumors on Xbox next acquisitions. The rumor is that they're looking at Sega and Konami. I still think that this is pretty much this is rumor. You brought up a great point on this. I'm gonna say my point is, I think Konami's making too much money off of pachinko machines and other aspects, that they're because they're making a ton of money in that market, that I don't know if they want to sell the entire. I don't think they want to sell their entire company, but maybe some IPs. I don't know. But what are your thoughts on the rumors?
I just don't think. First of all, for anybody who it hasn't been paying attention, not Konami, because everybody's got their problem with Konami.
Yeah.
Sega having a pretty decent second life in the software space this
Yeah.
last few years. I don't know what's going on over there, but Persona 5 Royal
Yeah.
was huge. Atlas is banging. I've heard great things about Strikers, which you don't need to bother playing if you haven't played Persona 5, by the way. Just throw that out there. But several other Sega-based games are doing fine.
Yeah.
I don't know that Sega would have necessarily any interest. The Yakuza series is also doing great. I think that Konami would probably be open to a sale of, say, like Metal Gear and Castlevania. The question is would Xbox get that?
Yeah.
What I can say, though, is that if there's a rumor to this, I don't know if there's any foundation to it, but there's probably some room for deals to be made in terms of maybe they start getting some exclusives, or maybe they start getting some cross-platforms. Imagine Persona 6 becomes the first Persona game to get on Xbox, or imagine Microsoft says, okay, Atlas, here's what happened. You put Persona 4 Golden on PC. Everybody loved it. It did great on Steam from what I heard. I think it sold 1 million copies, which for a classic JRPG, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty great if you're not named Final Fantasy VII Remake, which did, I think, closer to like 5 million. What if they're like, all right, 1, we want Persona 6 on Xbox. 2, we understand you're not necessarily going to get away from PlayStation. That's where you've been your whole life. But then what if we pay the porting fees to put Persona 5, Persona 4, Persona 3, and then you could probably stop there, but you can do Persona 2 and 1. But 3 is kind of where
That's all you need.
everybody gets to. There's a 3, the last place that it was in a great state was on PSP, and that is the best version of the game, which is the one that you would want. But even if you just stop at Persona 4 Golden, but Microsoft says, I pay the fees, you come to Game Pass.
Yeah.
I think that is realistic. Really don't see why Sega would sell their company. Obviously, though, we saw there's a price. You can put a price on anything.
There's a price.
You throw out billions of dollars, then
there's a price.
Then what? You leave Square Enix alone. Xbox. Don't you buy Square? I think Square Enix. I'm not saying they're too expensive or anything like that, because again, $8 billion bought Bethesda, but Square Enix is also a very giant company. It would just take an insane amount of capital. But don't you do it? Don't go over there and pay $10 billion to Square Enix. I'll be upset.
I feel like I don't know if they would do it. I mean, it would be impactful, but I feel like Microsoft may not. It's not that they don't realize how much it's worth. They may not feel it's worth it to purchase it, as opposed to letting them just be third party and let them have stuff on their on the console. I think Sega's second life happened when they stopped having to trying to compete, because obviously they lost the console war, and they had enough intellectual properties and enough developers and everything to keep them going. And then they were like, let's just make games. Let's just make some good games. And they didn't have to, because Sega of old in the heyday, they were trying to compete with Nintendo. And I think they realized, like, we can't compete with Nintendo. We can't compete with these companies, but we can make some damn good games and put them on those consoles. And once they did that, and they got the ego away, plus they got some great developers too. So
Does Sega own Atlas?
I don't know.
I don't
know. I don't know if they're
right.
I don't remember, honestly.
I mean, I think subsidiaries, they own. Yeah, they do own Atlas, among some other ones that I couldn't tell you what they did immediately. Amplitude Studios, Creative Assembly, Hardlight. The thing that if you were buying Sega was just like with Bethesda, you would be buying the tech and you would be buying the IP.
Yes.
You wouldn't necessarily care about the studios. Not crapping on you. Like Bethesda has id, they're awesome. They have machine games, they're awesome. Bethesda's fine.
Bethesda's,
we'll see.
Bethesda's got enough IPs behind them, but
they have But they have
same-
Obsidian now
Yep.
too, so if there's anything that Bethesda falls short on with Fallout or with the Elder Scrolls, they'd be
Just-
like, "Hey, Obsidian, what up?"
just give Obsidian those games to make.
I think there's. I think I wouldn't be surprised if you see a splash screen. Not you're not going to see it on like the main title
Yeah.
sequence, but I bet in the credits you see some Obsidian splash screen on Starfield. I bet
Yeah.
you see an Obsidian splash screen on it because they would be stupid
What-
not to let Obsidian work on those games.
What if they had? I'm trying to think what the follow up would be, but not calling it New Vegas 2, but calling it like New Reno or something like that, where it's like we're in the right area, the right tone, and it's a sequel, kind of, but have Obsidian to do that Fallout
New
game.
LA.
New LA, because there's been a lot of East Coast stuff for Fallout, but like have them do that over there. I want some more of this, because if Konami was bought, this and Metal Gear are the reasons why you would buy Konami, and with Castlevania. So
Dude, if you're a fan, by the way, I know that we've talked previously about how I want a new 3D Castlevania.
yeah,
But if you like old school NES Castlevania, that game I was talking about, Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2,
Yeah.
so that's not Bloodstained whatever of the night,
Yeah.
the one that's like that spiritual successor, but it's the NES version
Okay.
of Bloodstained that they made.
Yeah.
Both 1 and 2, excellent. And
Yeah.
I just beat 2
Okay.
this week.
I'll have to look at those.
Really, dude, the soundtrack is banging.
That's awesome. That is awesome. But, like I loved those games, and it's funny because I was terrible at them back in, like, you know, when I was a kid playing the NES one, like, because I was a kid trying to play Castlevania, and Castlevania is a difficult game, and I tried to get back into the series for a long time and didn't get into it until the 360 one. This came, I think this is first one or second Lord of Shadows. I can't remember if this is the first or second one. This is the second one. First Lords of Shadows game that came out, and I was like, okay. I mean, I knew Castlevania was cool. I knew what Castlevania was, but I didn't play them. And then I went back and played Symphony of the Night, and of course, Symphony of the Night's just amazing. So, because that was on Xbox Arcade on that 360.
Which, by the way, I mean to get to the actual Bloodstained that is Ritual of the Night is the thing that is. So
Okay.
Bloodstained Ritual of the Night also on Game Pass.
So I can just go over there.
So I haven't played that one yet, but I do have it downloaded on my
Yeah.
series to get to, just because it's a Castlevania like, and it's made by the
Yeah.
creator of Castlevania, Koji Igarashi, I think is his name. Got off topic a little bit there,
Yeah.
throwing it out with
Yeah.
but that's what we do around here.
That's
at
a good
TheLanCave.
recommendation.
We
That's a
talk
good
video
recommendation.
games.
Yeah, that's what happens. I've been playing so much Demon Souls and everything. I'm gonna go back, by the way, and play some more Spider-Man, because I do want to get that platinum for Spider-Man. That game, and the game is so good, so I think I'm gonna go back and do that. But
we started Maquette, which is one of the PS Plus games this
Yeah.
month.
how is it?
You know, every time that my wife says, like, do you want to play a game, I don't ever say no, because it doesn't happen all the time. And so she was like, I saw this puzzle game called Maquette, and I was like, oh, it's free on PS Plus. And she's like, oh, you want to play it? I was like, well, you can play it, because it's just not my style of puzzle game.
Yeah.
So but you know, it was the first time she played with the PlayStation 5 controller. She's sitting there, and it is one of the few PS5 games, even though it could easily be a PS4 game. I don't know if Sony just paid them to make it PS5 only or what, but it's definitely just a
Yeah.
PS4 level game. It's that studio's first game. It's fine.
fine.
We'll get back. We'll probably get back to it tomorrow
Yeah.
or the next day, and
I may check that
and
out.
hopefully finish that off. But that's something.
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot though.
Yeah.
We've been talking about most of them on the show, so I won't rehash them. But I looked at my number this week, and so last year played 44 games. This year we're in March. I'm up to 26 games already that I've touched.
You're gonna beat it.
All because hard drives, baby.
Yeah.
Download those games.
Hard drive. Yeah, I was gonna say I've got mine. I love my hard drive. My external hard drives that I'm using. But now I'm at the point where I'm like, maybe I should do what you did, and get a larger hard drive for cheaper, because I've got the Xbox Series X over there with the hard drive plugged in, and I got the Xbox One X in the bedroom. So the Xbox One X has some space to it, but it doesn't have as much space. And having those games on the hard drive, I've only got a terabyte, but that thing's almost full. And if I switched it out, actually, honestly, I'd probably get a 1 or 2 terabyte and put it in the other one, or may have a spare one over here. It helps so much.
The externals for Xbox are like $30 off right now.
Okay. For anyone who's
That's
not
not
doing
enough for
that,
me.
by the way, yeah. But anyone who's not doing that, by the way, we encourage you to do that. Not that we encourage you to spend money, but we do encourage you to spend money sometimes. The benefit.
I'll always spend everybody else's money.
But being able to load up a hard drive, I've got a 2 terabyte around here. I think I've got that I'm not using very much, so I may use that for this purpose and load up a bunch of games to have on the other Xbox. Having the game at the ready as opposed to shuffling through and remembering what's installed, because it may be a couple months before you get back and you're like, I kind of do want to play Doom, and then you realize, oh, I deleted that, didn't I? It's so much easier when you have that external hard drive. And remember, if you have a new console, the hard drive for those consoles is soldered to the board, so
Yeah,
it's more wear and tear.
It's opening up my world, honestly.
Yeah.
For the longest time on this show and outside of the show, I preached like data management, storage management.
Yeah.
You're done with the game, delete that sucker and move on. But what I wasn't seeing and what I wasn't getting was that I do buy so many games, and there was stuff that I was buying and just not immediately downloading. I would just buy it because it was on sale. It's just a thing that I was raised on, weirdly, where we would go to the grocery store and the end caps and stuff, and my dad would just be like, well, that you like that, right? I'm like, yeah, I like it, fine. Okay, well, it's on sale, I'll buy it. You want the cheap, you like Captain Crunch. I didn't normally get Captain Crunch, by the way. We got store brand stuff, and so Captain Crunch would be on sale for $2. Yeah, let's buy the box.
Yeah.
And so the same thing happens with video games. I see something that I want on my wish list.
Yep.
That's on sale. I buy it, even if I have no intention. But now I'm buying it, immediately downloading it onto that external hard drive. It is ready to go.
Yeah.
It is something that I can just jump into as soon as I turn it on and I'm looking for something to play, because that was the other problem. I would just not play games for days at a time because I would turn it on. I was like, well, I don't really want to play more Obra Dinn, or I don't want to play more Ghost of Tsushima right now. I want to play something else. Right now on my PS5, I have 44 games downloaded.
Yeah, and you have them at the ready. Also, you remember if there is a game that you're like, this sparks joy, I like this, I'm happy with this, you can download it and then just have it ready for whenever you do want to play it, as opposed to forgetting that it's part of that 300 game pile that you have of PlayStation. And Game Pass is obviously part of it as well, where Game Pass gives you access to it for X amount of time and then to take it off. And if you don't have access to it but you have downloaded it and it's no longer part of Game Pass, you can't play it. So,
and I went
there's
through
a downside.
just the other day, because I'm paying for Game Pass, even though I've been playing mainly, I play a lot of Call of Duty, Cold War. That's just my thing. That's my stress reliever recently. If I want to go mindless, I just boot that up. But I was like, hey, I'm paying for Game Pass. Let's download a whole bunch of stuff. There's stuff on that I went through the whole list.
Yeah.
I just did a first pass. Anything that I saw, like you said, that sparked joy.
Yep.
I didn't know Slay the Spire was on Game Pass. That's a game that I've been waiting to go on sale.
Yeah.
Don't need to buy it anymore. It's on Game
There you
Pass.
go.
I saw Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night. That's a game that I've been waiting to get. There's games that I want to get to that price point, where it's like, I'm like,
where you
Death
can
Stranding is
justify
on
it.
that list
Yeah.
now. I want Death Stranding under $20.
Okay. Because I was
It's
going to say
been
it's
at
like
24.
Yep.
And I'm that's where the discipline I'm trying to have is, like, I put a price point on a game that, like, I don't know if I'm going to be interested in Death Stranding.
Sure.
It needs to be $19.99 or less.
And I will say it's especially certain games like Death Stranding or whatever, we can talk about like objectively how good a quality whatever is, but like,
Sure.
is it going to be something that you enjoy and that resonates with you? Because you could buy something and be like, that's a great game, I'm going to buy it. Are you going to play it? And also, if you're getting the game for cheap enough, then you're more likely to grab it and play it relatively quickly. I will say that what was it like? There are games that are on my. I've got a calendar reminder every week, and it's a calendar reminder that's like, hey, if this goes on sale, it's just like just in case, because it's basically my wish list, where it's like, hey, if this goes on sale, go ahead and grab it. So there's some that are kind of on my wish list on that. Game Pass took off a lot of that because those games are already on Game Pass. But then again, if they come off Game Pass, then I won't own them. So there's a downside.
If you do have Game Pass, though, if y'all didn't know, if you have Game Pass, they give you a discount on the game.
Yep.
So that Xbox is giving you a sticker discount on each of these games that if you're like, hey, I want to support the developer because this game is awesome,
and you want to
go
keep
ahead and
it.
give you a little discount on it.
Yeah, and you want to keep it because that is, like we said, I know it goes ad nauseum, but it's like the Netflix of gaming. It's pretty much it's pretty close to the Netflix of gaming at this point. Xbox has slated it to be very close to that, which means that if they lose whatever contract that they have, or they decide, hey, this shuffles out, sorry, like that's no longer a part of Game Pass. And that's where that does come into play. So that's a good key.
So I'm going to be looking about buying another one of those 4 terabyte drives. I've seen how well it functions with my PS5. I'm going to buy the WD makes the colored version, so I'm going to buy the Xbox One. So I have it's blue and black for the PlayStation. I think they have a green and black one for Xbox. So I'll buy that 4 terabyte green and black, and I'm going to just move all the Xbox games over there. There's so much stuff backwards compatibility wise and so on that is available to move.
Yep.
And again, we're not telling everybody to go spend money, but this is actually one of these times where I found value. I spent $100 on a 4 terabyte drive and downloaded 38 games that I already owned. That who knows when I was going to play them, just for a lack of space. I was running out. The PS5 is worse than the Series X in this fashion. There's less available space on that thing. I was down to 50 gigs on my PS5.
Ooh.
I'm back up to 400 gigs.
I was gonna say I got to around 170 or 170 gigs or so, and I thought I was bad because I had that many games that were current gen. Because I have mine. I have my PS4 games are installed to the external hard drive and everything.
Yeah, and you already had an external.
I already had the external, but I only have a 1 terabyte. Now it's great, but it's only 1 terabyte, so that thing can fill up relatively quickly as well. And honestly, PS4 games aren't getting. I mean, they play really well, but they're not getting as much of a benefit as from the diminishing returns. We'll say that, unless it's loading the initial game, as we have a video on our page that's doing pretty well on that. There are diminishing returns when you go from regular hard drive to a solid state hard drive. So, but it's not that big of a difference for PS4 games in regards to load time. So, yeah,
I will say it's how the developer chose to manufacture, and that is one thing that I did want to mention. So, Hitman, the first one, is running off the external, and that was the first time where I experienced load times that were definitely like noticeable.
Yeah,
I was playing other indie games on there. I played Concrete Genie. I played Ghost of Tsushima. I played Oberdin, which is a very small indie game anyway, so the load times are already like negligible. But this Hitman game, you can tell that they didn't optimize a fast hard drive space, so whatever loading process they did, it's slower.
Gotcha.
So there is stuff like that, but that's where if it was somebody like you and you have that investment initially made, you're like, okay, this runs slower on this hard drive, I'm going to move it over to my SSD or something like that. You have that kind of option.
This is
but
true.
Also it's a thing of like, how much do I care if it's one particular game? So far, that's 1 out of 4 games that I've played that has not benefited it. And this is just a regular HDD. It's just a super fast HDD.
Sure. Here's my question. And obviously this is different. And this is my question to you as well. But Owen, To you as in whoever the listeners.
The
but,
royal you.
The royal you. But also,
Because
Owen,
you guys are so pretty.
Where do you put your external hard drive? You've hooked it up to the console. Does it sit up on top?
No.
What do you do? Mine. So my go ahead. What's yours?
Mine's in the shadows, dude. So
Yeah.
I know that not everybody has this, but we talked about it on the show. I bought an entertainment unit specifically that is wide enough to leave room on all sides of my PS5.
Yeah.
I am the definition of a sucker. So I purposely went on to not Wayfair. It's one Overstock. I went on to overstock.com.
Yeah.
Started looking at shelving dimensions, went over, measured my PS5, did all that good stuff, and bought something specifically. So I have the PS5. You have to plug the hard drive into the back port. The front port, for some reason, doesn't let you. I don't get that.
Wait,
it is a USB. It's a USB-A plug, not the USB-C.
What, for your hard drive? I've got mine plugged into the back.
Yeah, I'm saying they won't let you plug it in.
Oh, plug the front. Okay. Well, I wouldn't want to anyways. Yeah.
So they on the front is a high speed USB-C, and on the back is a high speed USB-A.
Yep.
And the USB-A port on the front is not high speed. So the PlayStation even prompted me to plug it in the back. And then it's tucked under the right wing because the PS5 sits on that base, and I have it horizontally. It's tucked under the right wing. The only thing you can see is the little blue light bulb.
That's exactly where I have mine. I don't have a light bulb on mine, but it tucked right in there. The Xbox one, I'm trying to find a place for, but yeah, the PlayStation one, it slides right into that little curve in there nicely. But Xbox kind of just sits off to the side.
My Xbox Series is behind my television.
That's true. That's true. Because you're like that ugly mug. Get over here.
It's so ugly. Everybody talks about how ugly the PS5 is, and I'm like, the PS5 to me, because it's by itself, it stands alone in this house shelf. It's an art piece.
Yeah, You're exactly right. I don't mind the look of the Xbox, because I look at it and I'm like, okay, I know what that's functioning to be, and just like looking at a PC, but then again, I got a nice looking PC now, but before, where it's like, okay, but if it's a solid PC, if it's just solid, gray or black, and it does its job, I don't care. But the PlayStation's got the style. Xbox is just this big old clunk. It's a monolith. It's like 2001 Space Odyssey monolith refrigerator is what it is. Mine's on its side like yours, I think, but
no, mine's vertical because of the fan. It's just behind the teel.
That makes sense. I do need to bring mine up just to test it with a little ping pong ball. Because I'm assuming
as you do.
I still need to do it because you have to. But anyways, let us know if you have an external drive hooked up to your consoles. I hope you do. It'll extend your life of your consoles and everything. Plus, you get to load up a bunch of stuff. Let us know if you have that. Where do you put it? And where's your little what's your little tip in regards to your gaming setup, your entertainment setup that you think will help everybody else, or something that nobody else is doing that you're like, everyone should do this? Let us know in the comments what that is, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.